Hello there, Blessing EKiko here. Today I love to share a little something with you. Something that has caused me to reflect for a while now. Before we get there, I'll give you this little experience of mine. More than thrice, I have had people ask me a certain question. Why do you speak the way you speak? How do you speak the way you speak? And most times I don't have the right answer. But I came to realize that something about that question was taking an effect on me. What do I mean by this? The people who ask me that question often do that with a particular thought in mind. It's usually, why do I pronounce words the way I do? Or why do I articulate the way I do? And while I often say, I used to read books a lot and I picked up some good vocabulary with that or from them, or I would also give the answer of, while growing up, I was in this house. It's not like we spoke broken English often. But now, hey, those are reasons to account for probably why I speak the way I speak. But to me, I didn't really see my way of speaking as anything to pay much attention to. However, they did. But when they did this, it was basically to have me feel like I was speaking different from everybody. So it was a problem. Why was it a problem? It was a problem because to them, I shouldn't be different. I shouldn't sound the way I do. But hey, how do I give an explanation to anyone to why my voice is seemingly deeper than others for a woman? And why I probably pronounce the way I do? Why do I need to explain my way of talking or who I am? I asked myself that question, but unfortunately, I took a step that was not wise. I started trying to speak like everyone else. Or when I get to a certain context, I just want to sound like them so that they don't see me different. That was where the problem was. I was trying so hard to get the acceptance and validation from these people. I was doing my best to kind of fit in. Now, trust me, in my mind, I speak like every other person. But to some people, it was a problem. I'm using this as an example because of the message I want to pass across. Most times in life, we are created and born with a uniqueness to who we are. The fact that you were born in a particular country, a particular region, a particular native land or village or town should not necessarily account for who you should be. Don't get me wrong. Your environment has an important role to play to your worldview. It most often turns to shape a lot of people. The kind of people you grow around would also determine the way you're going to see certain things. The way you will speak, at least I know this as a linguist, that where the linguistic reality of an area where a child is born would determine what this child's first language will be. It would determine how this child is going to speak a certain language or a foreign language, depending on which one was their first language, And that is a fact. However, it is problematic when you choose to let go of your unique self just because you want to fit in. When you choose to let go of who you are just because you seek validation. Before getting acceptance from the world, first accept you. Before seeking for anyone's validation, ask yourself whether or not you really do need that validation. Now, the way I spoke was not a problem, but to some people, they needed me to fit into this imagination or this imaginary blessing they had in their minds. And unfortunately, I fell into it because I started trying to fit in. And at the end of the day, I realized I was losing my vocabulary because I was beginning to pick all sorts of words or slangs in order to fit in. And also, I realized I was no longer me. Like something was not sitting right. But I didn't know what it was until it dawned on me that I was trying to become less of blessing so that the world could accept me. Are you doing that too? If you are also doing that, then hey, it's time you get the wake-up call like I did. It's time you realize that trying to seek for validation and acceptance from the world when you haven't first accepted yourself is just a catalyst to you losing who you really are. Take another scenario. The fact that you are a footballer who plays football with the left leg doesn't make you any less of a footballer, all because 90% of footballers play football with their right leg. If you know me very well, and if you've seen me physically or in any of my images, you'll come to realize that I do have broad legs, like I'm curved. My legs are curved. But that doesn't make me any less of a person. It doesn't make my legs less or more beautiful than another person. It's not a competition. It's all about being you. Accept and validate yourself by yourself. Love you and let the world do same. Appreciate you and let the world do same. Accept you first and let the world do same. It's not about meeting up to other people's expectations. It is not about seeking to be validated by their imaginary image of who you should be. It is about you first and foremost knowing who you are. The way you speak, the way you dress, the way you behave. It's not necessarily a problem unless you see it as a problem. But of course, remember I said it's not about bad attitudes. If you have any bad attitudes, like you're rude, you are lazy and things like that, you've got to work on that, of course. But first, accept who you are. Accept your identity. Love you and let the world do the same. Don't expect the world to accept who you have not accepted first. I am Blessed EKiko. It's my privilege talking with you. Keep shining your light.